my God! Hello Procrastinator, Sam here, and today they just shadow dropped, I believe, the first teaser trailer for Sonic Frontiers, and from the first second of what I saw, they have gameplay. So without further ado, I'm not wasting any time. If you like this reaction, hit the like button. If you want to stay updated to the channel and become a Procrastinator like many have, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and let's jump right into this. I have to see this. All right, here we go. Okay, the music is already like catching me immediately. It's beautiful. Okay, CG, we got that. Okay, yes! Okay, gameplay! Oh my God. Okay. All right, so it is still the Forces model, but that's fine. We got that spin move. Oh, we're analyzing this. We are analyzing this, so make sure you guys stay here. Okay, combos? Okay, rail grinding. Big Titan bosses? Okay, so it looks like there's a... They changed the logo! Oh my God, thank you, Lord, they changed the logo. I'm not gonna lie, I was not a fan of the original logo. I'm very happy they changed it. We gotta analyze this right away, jumping right into it, not wasting any time. Let's go. Okay, the music immediately sounds beautiful. I no gripes on that at all. Obviously, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Most of its music is going to be amazing, but I want to jump right into the gameplay. Okay, so it looks like what immediately caught me was when you run, it looks like when you run through trees and the camera gets close to the trees kind of fade out. I like that. I think that's great. A lot of times with games, especially open world games, when you're running through a lot of foliage or trees, you know, and that's something I was always thinking about with the first trailer when they showed that forest, was like, how is the camera going to be with this area? And it looks like they handle it well. They have the trees kind of fade out when it gets close by. So first thing I noticed is that this is the Forces model, and we knew that from the original trailers. They did not change that. It was not a placeholder. I told you guys, it's not a placeholder. They are still using it. That's fine. I just care about how it's animated, whether it feels more alive than how it did in Forces. So right now, it looks like the running model might still be the same, I think. Actually, no, I think he might have a bit more jump to his running. Something is very slightly different. And also, when he boosts, there doesn't seem to be any aura emitting from him. It appears to just be the screen just kind of fisheyes a little bit, in a way, just kind of zooms out. Does a bit more of a field of view. The field of view changes. I don't hate that, especially considering this is an open world game. I want to see around where I'm going, so probably obscuring your image wouldn't be best. But wow, okay, so the world doesn't look too different from what we saw last time. There is a lot of flowers, and a lot more of these structures we're seeing now. Then it cuts this image here of what appears to be, what I'm going to guess is a portal of some kind, where if you, you know, run on it and get enough speed, Sonic will just teleport. No, actually, no, it doesn't. So what it might be, because this is something a lot of people have noticed, that Sonic Frontiers is not considered, or they haven't called it necessarily an open world game. They call it open zone. And people think that's a play on words just because it's Sonic, but it's still open world. I don't believe it is entirely open world. I believe, at least not from the start. Maybe when you actually beat the entire game, every area is unlocked. But I have a feeling that how it's going to be is you're going to only have a chunk of the world to run in, and then you have to unlock it zone by zone. And that's why it's called an open zone game, not necessarily open world. Yeah, so what I think is this portal type thing here that Sonic's running on probably unlocks the area, or maybe activates the area in some way. Again, I don't know. You'll have to wait to see when the game comes out. But I do want to take a look at the background here. So on the top left, we have what looks to be more grind rails. That's something that we were not seeing really any of in the last trailer. So it looks like they added a ton of stuff actually to this map. I'm surprised how much that was added. There's a lot more pathways from what I'm noticing. It definitely feels more alive in a way, and I actually appreciate that. That was actually a little bit of a gripe I've mentioned in the past videos, is that while the world looked beautiful, it looked barren. It looked like there was nothing there. They didn't even have really rings or collectibles. They did have like purple coins at one point, from what I saw, but they definitely added a lot more stuff to this world. A lot of grind rails, which does look cool, but I'm so thrown off by that grind rail on the top left there. It looks like a zigzag, like you know, it's so strange. Like it's like a Z, and like how do you grind rail that? There's also something else next to it floating. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it is spinning. It has some sort of turbine on it. We do have more buildings in the background. It looks like they just added more pathways to get across certain areas easier. That's really my first reaction to that, is that it just seems like they just added a bunch of stuff. There is more springs now. I'm noticing a lot more springs now in the area too. And there's a lot of rocks that looks like they were perfectly stacked. I don't know what that definitely doesn't occur in nature, so I definitely want to know the backstory behind that. But okay, that's enough with this image here. So now we get a first look at the enemies. The second I saw the enemies, I am not gonna lie, it just screams Phantasy Star Online 2, and that's not a problem. I actually love Phantasy Star Online 2. That's a game I got into recently. It's another Sega title. But yeah, these enemies scream Phantasy Star Online. And that's not a problem. But you can see Sonic did his little swirl attack that was in the leaks, and also what we saw in the initial CGI trailer. He could do that little paraloop, kind of like in Knights, to destroy enemies inside the circle. And then on top of that, though, it looks like you also get to do a combo. Like, so it doesn't just destroy this enemy, it launches it up, and then from there, you have to homing attack that. I like that. I actually really like that. And I'll give you guys why, because a lot of times recently, especially in recent Sonic games, I felt like it was too easy to attack enemies. There was no combos. I don't necessarily think enemies need to have health bars, but I definitely think there should be combos to definitely destroy them faster, rather than just constantly mashing the homing attack button until they had enough, you know? So it looks like there's some dynamic there, and I do like that. There's this enemy here that looks like it's a bunch of, like, bouncing balls in some way. Very interesting. And I don't know what that was. That was very interesting. Let me rewind that real quick. But yeah, so Sonic here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me pause real quick. Let me go frame by frame here. Did I see that right? Is he doing his kicking from Sonic Lost World, or is that no? Okay, so So it looks like it might be a different animation, but my guess is they're kind of bringing back, there's two different types of styles to attack. You could do the paraloop, you could homing attack normally, but it looks like his kick maneuver from Lost World is back. Let me know what you guys think about that. Again, if it means having a more dynamic way of attacking enemies, I'm not against it. But it definitely depends on how they do it. I hope I don't have to just spam the kick button, which I'm not gonna lie, it looks like that's exactly what you do, is you just spam the kick button until the enemy probably had enough. But I don't know what this is here, because then it cuts here to like Sonic in some sort of, he's literally spinning like Knights. I don't even know what to say here, but he's homing, he does something. He homing attacks different parts of the enemies, I think. It doesn't even look like that. He just does a zigzag and goes straight to the enemy, and he gives it probably a finishing blow there, and then it just, yeah, the enemy had enough. Sonic is just spinning. What? Go back. He is just spinning upside down in his kick animation. I'm not gonna lie, that looks really weird. What the heck? You can definitely see in the background there is a lot more. You can get a really good look at these grind rails on the top of the world now. I will say, it does look a bit weird. I mean, it doesn't look that weird. I know all Sonic games just have grind rails kind of just floating, but it just looks bizarre just to have these grind rails floating with like no exhaust on the bottom. Like, I feel like they probably could have put like some fire exhausts like somewhere. Like, it just, I don't know, it just looks kind of bizarre to just have like a lot of grind rails floating. Every Sonic game does that though. I don't know why I'm complaining about that. I'm not really complaining. I'm just like noticing just how bizarre it looks in this open world. But yeah, that looks weird. Sonic being upside down. They probably just froze his kicking animation mid-animation and just had him spin around. I don't know. So grind rails are back. It looks like you could switch between grind rails. I think that looks no different than how it looks in Sonic Forces. But yeah, again, he does boost there, and there does not appear to be a boost aura. That's what I'm getting out of this. And again, that's not a big deal. Not too against that. now I want to take a closer look at the world in the background. So it looks like we have like something like a Stonehenge type thing and a lake over there. It looks like they made the draw distance more foggy, and I do appreciate that. That is something I've noticed in the older trailers, which was the really far islands that you clearly aren't supposed to go to in the game. They looked kind of low res, so them putting that fog layer there definitely helps kind of hide that. And I will say overall, the game does appear to be running smoother. When they did show off the world initially, there was a lot of frame drops, but it does look like this world seemingly is running smooth. So I'm wondering if this is just a more optimized build we're seeing. Obviously, it is a more optimized build, but they definitely seem to be running this off of like some high specs here. And yeah, so real quick, it looks like he's going to be going through those 3 rainbow rings of some kind, so those make a return there. And he was going to go, let me see here, it looks like it would have led him to another part of the island. Is that I don't know if that's a structure, or yeah, that is a structure right there. And yeah, I feel like we've seen that area before. But they added a lot. They added a lot of like structures to this world, and I do appreciate that. It definitely makes it feel more alive. And here we get a big boss. Now this isn't like, I don't think this is a Titan, but these are really big bosses that you can climb right there. This is strange though. Let me actually go frame by frame here. Sonic does not appear to be running up the, well, he starts running up it, but then you hit a boost pad and then it just launches you up constantly. I think, yeah. Okay, so at that point, it's probably automated. It probably just launches you up automatically until you get to the top of the enemy, and then you can hit the final blow. I'll have to see how interactive that is. Again, that's my main fear with Sonic Frontiers. Based off the past games, I felt like it was too automated. Back with Forces and even the past Boost games, they have a big habit of taking control away from the player. So I hope in Frontiers they make it more, they make it better. They make it so the player doesn't get to put down the controller and make a sandwich, if you know what I'm saying. I would have probably liked to manually be able to run up the enemy to attack it, but it looks like they probably do that for you. It's not the end of the world. But okay, so here we have Sonic homing attacking what appears to be, yeah, this is the top of the enemy here that he homing attacks. And I don't know if that is a Titan boss, because again, that boss looks very different from the boss, or from the big Titan we saw at the end of the first trailer. So this is probably one of those like mini bosses in the area. And I hope these bosses are a challenge, and I hope they're not like super easy like Sonic bosses have been recently. I hope they actually have challenge to them. But that's pretty much it. And then from there, it ends with the new Sonic Frontiers logo. Yeah, I think this logo looks 10 times better. 10 times better than what they were showing initially. I like this a lot. So yeah, we just saw Sonic Frontiers gameplay, finally. My initial thoughts is I want to see way more. I have to see way more. This gave us a very small taste, I feel like, of the game. I feel like it didn't quite give me enough to excite me to that next level. It definitely makes me interested, and I am obviously excited because I am a Sonic fan and I do want to play the next Sonic game. I am not like eagerly like, oh, this looks amazing, I have to get this, because a lot of stuff I've seen here is stuff that we've already done in past games. Sonic running on this portal is probably, you just hold the run button until it's activated. The new Paraloop thing is probably the only thing I've seen in this trailer that really entices me in terms of the gameplay, because that is an actual difference in Sonic's combat that we haven't seen, where he has to Paraloop first, that launches the enemy up, and then from there you get a homing attack it. That actually sounds like fun to me, and I think that is a great idea, and I look forward to doing that, and I hope that being able to do that it adds more dynamic to the combat in the game. And I will say also, him being able to do that Paraloop, I hope that means that they refined the controls. That is also a big part of Sonic Frontiers, as I really hope they refine the controls of Forces, because Sonic Forces Sonic controlled like a tank. So I really, truly hope that they refine the controls, where going in a loop like that is natural feeling. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel too sluggish, you know? The whole idea of Sonic having his kick mechanic, I'm not against the idea. I just hope, again, it does add to the combat and it gives it a dynamic that is interesting and doesn't feel too repetitive. The amount of grind rails I'm seeing, I mean, those look cool, but I mean, again, the grind rails are something you're going to be on for probably a total of 5 seconds before the section is over. I mean, we've all played modern Sonic games at this point. Grind rails are a big part of it, but I really wish they add a balancing mechanic back to the grind rails, so that way, again, it's not automated. I do like the idea, like with Sonic Heroes or especially Adventure 2, when you had to balance on the grind rails, so that way the player was engaged the whole time. Just based off of how many turns there are of these grind rails, that is absolutely not in this game. These are going to be automated grind rails. You're just going to kind of wait for Sonic to be done, and I guess that is kind of a shame, but it looks like they do add a lot of times where you have to switch grind rails, so you have to be engaged that way, which isn't a bad thing, but not too like I'm not like enthralled in the idea of having to go on grind rails, but it's fine. This looks also, again, like something we've seen over and over. You know, grind rails are fine. This boss here, again, looks interesting. An interesting type of boss that Sonic has to deal with, having to climb up it. But it does look like going up the boss might be automated, which again is fine. It just depends on how the fight actually is with the boss and if it is dynamic. And then from the top there, you deliver the final blow. And then you're probably done with the section and you go to the next zone. So, wow. All right, Sonic Frontiers. Again, I'm looking forward to the game. Make sure you guys are staying close to the channel. Make sure you hit the sub button, hit the bell so you guys know when I upload. I obviously will be doing any and all reactions as more information comes out about this game. Probably very soon, considering the fact that this game comes out later this year. Or at least it is supposed to come out later this year. In fact, let me see. Did they actually do a release date for this game? Did they say when it's coming out? I don't think this trailer mentioned when it's coming out. The last trailers did mention it is supposed to come out, you know, later this year. But yeah, so, all right. So actually, I'm looking at the description here, and it says that everything kicks off June 1st. June 1st, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So June 1st, that is tomorrow. We have more information coming tomorrow. So make sure you guys hit that bell. If it's like an event of some kind, I'll probably live stream it. If it's a video, you guys can expect really fast quality reactions here on the channel. So yes, I am looking forward to Sonic Frontiers. It looks like the Sonic Frontiers. It looks like the music was made by Otani. So Otani, thank you for making music that doesn't sound like club music. I really appreciate that. I joke about that, but a lot of his music sounds the same over time. So this looks fantastic, seeing the fact that he seems to be expanding beyond that. I'm looking forward to Sonic Frontiers. I really am, but I definitely do want to see more gameplay. And it looks like we might get that starting tomorrow. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is Sam, signing out. See you later, procrastinators.